In one of the richest places in Tokyo, the Seijo neighborhood, in the Setagaya district, a successful businessman lives in a luxurious mansion alongside his 2 sons and 5 beautiful daughters. Before I start telling their story, I'm gonna introduce you to their children. The oldest at 16 years old is H0t. The youngest at 15 is H0t. The eldest daughter at 18 is Bangri, who in my opinion is the hottest of them all. She's a freshman at a renowned university to become a nurse, and everyone likes her. The second one is Seiha at 17, who is president of the science club and has the highest grades in the school. Then comes Oka at 16, who, in addition to being smart, is the star of the swimming and track teams. The second youngest is 15-year-old Minami, who was a 3-time tennis champion in middle school and will probably make it to the Olympics. And the youngest at 14 is Kotono, who is still in elementary school and is everyone's favorite. This is the Shiunji family. Now, let's get to the story. It all starts with H0t asking H0t how to get a girlfriend, but he doesn't know. But H0t is dating, and he says he just went with the flow and things worked out. I mean, it's easy when you look like this. He says that H0t is too passive, and as heir to the Shiunji family, he can choose the girl he wants. But H0t thinks that maybe there is someone destined for him. Oh, poor guy, he's one of those who believes in destiny. This one will suffer in life. Then, the 5 sisters arrive in the room, thinking that the 2 of them are talking about perverted things, which is not good coming from the children of the Shiunji family. Oka thinks that H0t wants to know hot details of H0t's girlfriend, and he continues the joke, saying that H0t told him that Oka is getting curves in all the right places. Look at the way the siblings talk to each other, jeez. And then Oka literally unleashes the dog on H0t. The dog's name is Velzakil. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. H0t says he'll never make perverted comments about the sisters, but it seems that something happened between him and Kotono, and H0t says it was all a misunderstanding. Bangri tries to defend him by saying that it is normal for a teenage boy to have this kind of thought, even more so when surrounded by a lot of hot girls. Yeah, but the hot girls are his sisters, right? Then it's not normal. The others continue to complain about H0t, but Minami says he's a nice guy. But when he tries to hug her, he gets punched right in the stomach. And Minami says it was just a reflex, because she was playing a fighting game. Bangri says that H0t is handsome, but Seiya replies that his personality doesn't help. Wow, if a girl like this says I'm handsome, I think I wouldn't sleep for 3 days. Then Oka changes the subject and asks if the boys are free on Saturday, because it's going to be Kotono's birthday and they're gonna go out after the party. H0t says he has plans but can reschedule, which makes his younger sister very happy. There's something going on here, dude. I can feel it. At the train station, people are drooling over the sisters and jealous of those who live with them. And even the 2 brothers are the target of compliments, because it seems that the genetics of this family are something out of this world. At school, H0t is annoyed with people who think they live in paradise, because growing up with 5 women at home was hard for him and his brother. But Shion says that it's normal for people to be jealous, since they only see what's on the surface, and their sisters really are very beautiful. For H0t, they are just family, but for those who see them from the outside, they are 5 hotties. And then we find out that what happened between him and Kotono was that his sister said she liked him. This is already getting weird. H0t sees the girl he's into, Lala, but he's still passive to do anything, according to Shion. At home, he thinks about adding her as a friend, but is afraid of being rejected. Oka enters his room asking for the notes he made at school so she can study, and we find out that they are twins. He asks her to be careful with the clothes she wears, but she thinks that's weird. She doesn't have to worry about what she wears at home. Plus, the 2 of them used to shower together when they were kids, so there's no problem at all. And then she asks about Lala because she heard Shion talking about her in the morning, but H0t says he doesn't need her help. She says that, as he's the heir, he needs to get married someday, but he says he will do it his way. So she gets mad at him and leaves the room grumbling and saying that he will never get anyone decent. Wow, what a healthy relationship. At school, H0t thinks about fate and what his life would be like if he wasn't a Shiunji and if he didn't have 5 sisters, when he sees Lala with another guy. Oh, that hurts, man. But destiny is what it is, and there is no way to change it. At home, everyone is sitting at the living room table to celebrate Kotono's birthday, and H0t continues to think that everything that happens in our lives is the work of fate, and there is nothing he can do to change it. But his daydreams end when 2 sisters start fighting, because Minami lost Oka's earbuds that she had borrowed, and the 2 of them start to offend each other until they say that it would be better if they didn't have a sister like the other, and H0t has to break up the fight. And then their father arrives, and they can toast Kotono's birthday. But first, the father has something to tell. Something he always planned to tell on the day Kotono turned 15. Nothing will change the love he feels for his children, but his big revelation is that they are not real siblings. H0t is in shock and wants more explanation. And the father says that they are all adopted, but now they are old enough to understand this, and he promised his late wife that he would tell the truth when Kotono turned 15. The only blood siblings are Shion and Minami, who are twins. The others have no blood relation. This glance between H0t and Oka was suspicious, huh? And after dropping this bomb, he decides to start dinner. Look at the tension on this table, man. After dinner, Bangri tells the maid that she will serve the tea herself because she wants some privacy. Minami is the only one who is excited. The others are still so shocked, trying to understand everything that happened. Seiya says that their father revealed the truth at the right time, considering the promise he made. But Oka feels betrayed that he hid the truth from them for so long. They ask if Bangri remembers anything, since she's the oldest. She says that maybe she remembers something, but she doesn't want to tell them because it doesn't make a difference. Even though they don't have any blood relations, they've been together for 15 years, so they're still siblings. After that, she says happy birthday to Kotono and sends everyone to bed. Arata is also very confused with everything that happened, and on top of that, he saw his crush with someone else, so he decides to take a shower to relax. But when he's about to get into the bathtub, he sees that Kotono is there, and they both get embarrassed. So he puts the clothes back on and says you wait in the room. But then Kotono asks him to wash her back like in the old days. He says she needs to learn how to do it herself, but she likes the way he does it. He thinks that nothing has changed. She is still his little sister, so he asks her to dry off and put on warm clothes so she can rest, because the day was long. Oka is still in the kitchen having tea when Shion shows up to check on her, and she says she's worried about Kotono, because in addition to this revelation, she still has the high school entrance exams to do, and being the younger sister, the others have to support her. Shion says that he still can't believe that this is all real, and Oka wants to know what Arata said about the situation. She spent her whole life thinking the two were twins, so she thinks of him as her other half. Shion says that Arata thinks the same, and that he will remain the heir to the family, so nothing will change. He says that what's going to be different is genetics, people's reaction when it becomes public, and the fact that now they can marry each other. Meanwhile, Kotono embraces Arata in a very suggestive way. Oka thinks that the idea of them marrying each other is disgusting, but it was just Shion's hypothesis, because Japan's law doesn't prevent adoptive siblings from getting married. She thinks Arata must have thought about it, since he's perverted, according to her, but Shion says that he's just a normal teenager. So Oka wants to know what exactly happened between Arata and Kotono. When they arrived at the game room, they saw Arata on top of her, but she doesn't know what had happened. He told Shion, but made him swear he would keep it a secret. Oka knows that he would never force anything on his sister, she just jokes about it, so there needs to be a reason. Then, Shion decides to reveal that Kotono has professed her love for Arata. Of course, he rejected his sister, but she didn't want to accept it at all and started to hold on to him, and that's how it happened. And Arata didn't want to explain anything because it would be bad for Kotono. Shion says that it is common for children of this age to confuse the affection of siblings with romantic feelings. Maybe in Japan, because here it's bizarre. But they both agree that if she continues with this, they will have a very big problem. Kotono keeps clinging to Arata and wants to know why it's wrong. Honey, how come you don't know your siblings? It doesn't matter if you're blood related or not. That's very weird, man. Arata says that he will always be her older brother and will take care of her until the day she gets married. He promises to forget that all that happened and leaves the bathroom, leaving Kotono upset. Arata returns to his room in disbelief of what Kotono did and thinks that nothing will change, and Seiya is waiting for him inside. He wants to know what she's doing there so late, but she only comments on how he got the smallest room in the house when they made a draw to decide, and Oka took the biggest. He thinks she came to talk about their father's revelation, but out of nowhere, she throws herself on top of him and starts rubbing against him. He's completely at a loss trying to understand what's happening, because she stopped having physical contact with him a long time ago. He thinks she's just like Kotono, but this was all a test. Seiya saw and heard everything that happened between him and Kotono in the bathroom, so even though he handled the situation well, she wanted to know if he would succumb to temptation if any of the sisters kept going at him. And then, as she is the nerd of the family, she starts spitting out facts. Japan forbids siblings from marrying for social reasons, but biology says that parents with different genes have healthier children. In addition, as the siblings grow up, they create defenses that make them not interested in each other. But none of this makes sense anymore now that they know they're adopted. So, with the exception of Shion and Minami, the others may be interested in each other and even have intimate relationships. And it could be that Kotono has discovered everything instinctively, and now that she knows that she's not Arata's blood sister, there is nothing that can stop her from going after him. And then Seiya leaves the room, leaving Arata to think about everything she said. But it seems that she is also thinking that she will have problems with that. The next morning, Arata realizes that he slept badly because the previous day was heavy, and when he leaves the room, he comes face to face with Bundy and Kotono dressed as nurses. Wow, I'm getting a little headache, I think I need to go to the hospital. She explains that her new uniform had arrived, so she went to try it on, and Kotono put on the backup. She wants to know what Arata thinks, but he's too embarrassed to answer. When they leave for school, Shion thinks she just wanted to improve their mood. On the way, people keep drooling over the sisters, and Shion thinks that they must be good liars, because they are all acting normally even after the bomb that fell on the family's lap. Their day goes by normally, But in the end, H0t still doesn't totally believe that they are not siblings, but he is firm in making sure that nothing changes between them. Minami shows up and says that she has a day off for the first time in years, and H0t thinks she must have a lot of pressure on her for being so good at tennis. But she says she only plays because that's what she loves to do. When they leave the building, Minami's female fan club comes to ask her for a picture. She says she got several female fans when she took a picture in the boys' uniform, and H0t asks her not to keep all the girls at school just for herself. He asks her if she's going straight home, because since she has a day off, she can go out to have fun. But then she says that she failed her tests, so the coach gave her a break so she could study. Despite being a top athlete, she has the lowest grades in the family. So H0t decides to help his sister study. They go to a karaoke place, where H0t realizes that, whether she is his sister or not, Minami is very beautiful. Oh, we're gonna start with this already? He tries to teach her the subject, but she gets distracted with the karaoke and gets all the questions wrong. At least the fact that they are all adopted explains why Minami is the only sister who is bad at school. And then the study session ends because Minami starts singing, and H0t laughs at her because she changed the lyrics of the song to say that she's bad at her studies, and the only thing she knows how to do is hit a ball with a racket. He's happy because Minami is so cheerful in life that he always manages to have fun with her. They leave the room and H0t has to hide because he sees Lala with her boyfriend. Wow, twice in 2 days is sad, huh? On the way home, they comment on their father's revelation, and Minami says she will ask him who her real parents are. She's worried about Kotono because she's the youngest, but says that even though they're not siblings, the most important thing is the bond they have created in all these years together. She tells H0t not to be sad just because the girl he likes has a boyfriend. Yes, Oka told her. Apparently she's a gossip. He has many qualities. He's smart, funny, responsible, and he loves his siblings. Yes, but I'm worried because maybe he loves them too much, right? Let's see. At home, Minami gives Oka a cake kit as a gift and returns her earbuds, apologizing for losing them. But Oka decides that she can keep them as long as she doesn't lose them again. So the two of them make peace and go down to the living room to have tea and share the cakes. Okay, that's it for now. I'll be back another day with more of this story. If this video was good, leave a like, man, and subscribe as well because there will be a lot more videos coming. I'll see you later. Peace.